So I finally got a chance to sit down and watch the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar about 100 times, to where I think I have a little bit of a breakdown of it, but I don't really want to do a breakdown because I see that there's already a lot of videos out there that are already having people break down stuff. But you know what's funny is that I think a lot of y'all missed some things. I don't really hear too many people talking about Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam. But if we really take the time to analyze what Samuel L. Jackson was saying during the Kendrick Lamar performance, was that this country is divided and that it was built on us black people as slaves, and that we were promised our 40 acres and a mule and never got it. And if you don't know what that means, the 40 acres and the mule, I suggest that you get off the internet. You've been on the internet for too long. You've been on the internet for that long and you don't even know the terminology 40 acres and a mule. Well, for those of you that don't know, it was promised to our ancestors who were slaves and didn't get it after the Civil War. He said it's bigger than the music. That should let you know right there that he was not doing this to entertain you. This was not for entertainment. This was to make you think. To make you sit back, like I was saying in previous videos, and be like, wow, this rapper is actually making me think about something. I will tell you right now that I believe that this halftime show is something that will be studied later on, and that people that said that it was trash and that this was the worst halftime show ever, they will probably get it later on. Or maybe some of them won't get it later on. When Samuel L. Jackson came out as Uncle Sam and said, "Oh, I see you brought your homeboys with you." He's like, that old cultural, what did he call it again? He called it a cultural cheat code. Scorekeeper, deduct one. You know, when he said that part, it was just like, yo, when I heard that, it made me like really think. And I'm thinking that that was a message that he was sending to the black culture. And basically like how the black culture is set up to where we rap about killing each other and we rap about doing drugs and, you know, all this type of stuff. And it's like, if we get too popular and then we try to bring our people with us, whoever that scorekeeper is that Samuel L. Jackson is referring to, or Uncle Sam is referring to, that scorekeeper is the one who's making all the decisions. Now, if I'm going to go even down a conspiracy theory, would I say that that scorekeeper is the Illuminati, who also stands as the gamekeeper for the video game and the game system that we are in? I mean, this could just go so down so many levels, man. Which it's almost like people are going to think that you're sounding crazy to talk about it. But I would not, man, be surprised to really understand that I'm sure that this is the way Kendrick is thinking. And this is what this whole reference was. But if we go back to the topic at hand with Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam and just kind of checking him and letting him know that this is the way American culture is thinking, and that it's like he's got the field set up like a controller, like a video game controller, basically, and he's just making all of these moves, and Samuel L. Jackson is kind of telling him, like, you can't do that in the game. You know, he's like the moderator or whatever you want to call it of the video game. And he's basically telling you that we're all in this game, that we're all in this video game, whether you're aware of it or not. You're all a part of this game, and a lot of us are divided, where he put up that one image where he's showing the American flag of everybody separated. I mean, there's just so many things, man, that you can really just like dive deep into this rabbit hole, man. Like, it really does go down deep to where people that are out there saying, oh, this was a horrible halftime show. Oh, because it wasn't a show that made you want to dance. It wasn't a show that made you want to dance. It was a show that made you think. And people were probably like, I'm not trying to think. I'm watching the Super Bowl. Kendrick is not that type of a rapper, man. Kendrick is an underground rapper who became mainstream. He's an underground rapper that became mainstream. So he's basically telling you right here and there that I'm not following the system. Even when he went on to say, oh, should I do the song? Is he really going to do it? Like the Not Like Us track. And he's saying, oh, well, you know they want to sue. Even if you watch the beginning of the halftime performance, he says, this is the American game. And I bet you're thinking that he's talking about the Super Bowl. Well, yes and no. He's talking about that, but then he's also talking about the fact that the game, this is the American game that we are all in who are currently in the United States of America. We are all in this game, whether we are aware of it or not. Almost like kind of like the Matrix or something like that. And, you know, the whole red, white, and blue, which is obviously representing the American flag, and where all the brothers are together with their arms on each other's back, showing you that this country was built off of the backs of slaves. But not just that though, but can we also say that the red and blue also represented the Bloods and Crips that are not just in LA anymore? Because yeah, it was an LA thing, but now it's become like a nationwide thing. You could go out to Portland, Oregon, and they got Bloods and Crips out there. You're like, wait, what? They got Bloods and Crips out here? Did you see some of the videos? Maybe I could show one that, oh, the audience wasn't even feeling it. Let me ask you a question, man. When you do that pan, you know what I see? I see majority. They're trying to say like, oh, the crowd was whack. The crowd was whack. But let me ask you a question though, man. I see mostly white people in that crowd. And you're right, we ain't got to make it about race. Let's not make it about race. But let me just tell you this. From the looks of that crowd, that don't even look like a hip hop crowd. You didn't really see too many black people in the crowd that weren't famous. It's like, how many people from the hood, from the ghettos, can really afford a Super Bowl ticket? I mean, aren't they going like for $5,000, $6,000, maybe even $10,000 minimum? What average kid from the inner city got $10,000 to just spend on a random football ticket? So the people that could afford to go to the Super Bowl, who don't even listen to that music most likely, of course they're going to be standing there just looking and not understanding what the hell is going on. Man, some of y'all are stupid, man, I gotta say. And then let's not front, yo. Let's not front. Kendrick didn't even do his hits. He didn't even do his hits. I don't even believe that he did anything off of Good Kid, Mad City. And I'm sure that there's a lot of us that was just like, yo, K-Dot, you gotta do Good Kid, Mad City. You gotta do Money Trees. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do Swimming Pools. There's so many other tracks on there that we all know that we were like, yo, this is the moment right here. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. He's about to do all those tracks at the Super Bowl and let all these people know, all these haters recognize. And then we knew that like Not Like Us had to be up in there. I knew TV Off had to be up in there. Listen, I don't think that this show was really about Drake, even though obviously, clearly it was. But I wouldn't say that that was really all the angle I believe that Kendrick was going for. I believe that he was using Drake more so as a metaphor, as like, this is the guy who was painted as your savior, or, you know, the person who was like your prince, your celebrity, you know, the royal prince of this industry. And he represented all of that pop culture, your little prince. I'm gonna just, I'm not talking to you right now, Google or whoever you are. You got the AI robots listening to me because I'm going deep on a conversation right now. The other part where Sam Jackson comes up to him and is telling him to not do those types of songs. America's not ready for that. So it's like he already knows. He says the cultural divide. He already says, like, he understands there's probably people out there, as I've said before, that didn't even want to hear rap. They don't even want to hear, they want to hear some rock and roll, you know, or some pop, or some, you know, somebody just, some, you know, girl dancing on stage, twerking. That's what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? And Kendrick is like, nah, man, I'm gonna make y'all think. This is my opportunity to do a big stage like this, one of the biggest stages on the planet. I'm gonna take this opportunity to say something and bring a message. Like I said, man, this is something that's gonna be studied. This was not for you. For those of you, mostly, I'm not even gonna just say white people. I would just say conservative people. But a lot of people are saying the majority are older white, especially males, is what seems like they weren't really feeling this halftime performance. I'll say maybe it wasn't for you. Even if you don't even listen to hip hop. I mean, some of y'all even said you don't even listen to hip hop. If you don't know these things, don't speak on the culture. You got people talking about the songs that K-Dot performed, and they're like, oh, I don't know if this song, like they didn't even listen to the GNX album. If you didn't listen to the GNX album, you shouldn't be giving your take on the halftime performance. Like, I even heard some people giving their takes where they said, yeah, and then all the dancers proceed to squabble up. Like, if squabble up is a dance, for those of you that don't know, squabble means to fight. That's what it means. It means to fight. Let's squabble. We're going to squabble up. Let's squabble. That's what it means. But I hear some of these YouTubers or TikTokers giving these takes where they say, yeah, and the dancers proceeded to squabble up. Yo, don't speak on the culture if you don't understand it, if you're not part of it. Please stop speaking on the culture, man. That's what Kendrick said in the Super Bowl. We are the most influential, and you can't sugarcoat this. You can't try to water it down. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make it something it's not. We are the culture, yo, and especially black rappers and black hip hop. We set the trends, man. But stop trying to bash our trends, but then also try to be part of it at the same time. And I think that's what he was kind of saying in his message with a lot of things in the Super Bowl show. But yeah, man, as he ended the show with the TV off, and then he looks at the camera and it looks like he's holding a remote, or he could be holding a trigger. Kind of hard to tell. Would have to ask him that question. But I think that there's, like I said, so many different metaphors that could be interpreted in that. A lot of people were saying like the football game was already over at that time. Kansas City was getting just whop, 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 whop. You know what I mean? They were getting whopped. And Kendrick was just basically like, after the halftime show, turn your TV off. That's it, man. Like, we don't need to listen to this BS anymore. And then it can also be, you know, shots thrown at Drake too. Like, it's done. Game over. He put the game over at the end of the screen. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, man, that were great about this performance. I think it'll be studied later on. Some of y'all just don't get it right now, and you know what? It ain't for some of y'all. And as I mentioned before, some of these YouTube videos I've seen where they said, this is the worst performance I've ever... It wasn't for you. Like I said, he wasn't there to entertain y'all, man. He was there to make y'all think. That's what that show was for. It was there to make us start thinking about something. And he said that he's going to use his voice to do it. Like he said, the revolution will be televised. What else did he say? You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Why is he the wrong guy? Because he's going to make it happen, man. He's going to let you know what time it is, man. He's not playing with you, man. And he's laughing at you, and it's like, oh, Drake comes in, tries to file a lawsuit. And it's like, yo, man, you are basically what I am basically going after. Like, you represent that. You represent that whole, excuse me for lack of a better word, but you represent that whole bitch, beta male energy. And the industry was pushing you for a long time, but like, really, dude, you're just a bitch. And I'm just going to like crush you and destroy you. That's kind of just what I think, man. That's just what I think, man. And that's what happened, yo. And Man, we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here, man. You know, where he came up with the line like, say Drake, and then he started smiling at the camera, which everybody knows. It's just like, come on, man. A lot of us would be like, damn, was that even necessary? But it was like, kind of like, hey, man, I don't know, man. I guess he really don't like Drake, man. He really don't like Drake. Like, damn, man. Imagine having somebody like that you got to deal with. Like, Kendrick is a menace, man. That dude is crazy, man. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. He is an underground rapper. Like, he's not the type of rapper that you can control. But Kendrick doing the raps without backing vocals to and just rapping over the track, whether some of y'all agree with the breath control or you didn't, we have to say, man, that's real rapping in its purest form, man. He definitely brought hip hop to the Super Bowl. He definitely brought real rap to the Super Bowl. I respect him for not trying to do all his hits that he's known for, but he was just like, yeah, you know what? F this. I'm going to do what I feel is the message that needs to be out there right now and what I think people need to hear. And since this is like the biggest stage in the world right now, I'm going to let these people hear what I feel needs to be heard, especially with what's going on right now in the world, you know? Yeah, Kendrick definitely damaged Drake's reputation on that for sure.